So a couple of months ago, I did an initial video on what I said at the time was potentially the best AR-15 rifle I've ever bought. I'm talking about this Midwest Industries Tactical Response 25th Anniversary Rifle. So I took this thing to a pretty intense rifle class a couple of weeks ago. Thought we'd do a follow-up. I'll show you the changes I've made to it, I guess the additions, and tell you how well this thing performed in a pretty grueling weekend of fire. That's what's coming up next here on Survival on Purpose. Welcome back to Survival on Purpose, your home for trustworthy information and gear reviews related to camping, survival, and general preparedness for regular folks. My name's Brian. Thanks for joining me. And in my opinion, one of the components of general preparedness is becoming as competent as possible with firearms, especially any firearms you might own. So as I said a couple of months ago, maybe, we took a look at this 25th anniversary tactical response rifle from, close that up here, from Midwest Industries. And this is, at the time I said, I think this is the best AR-15 I've bought, and it's also the prettiest one. But I decided to get it dirty a couple of weeks ago and take it to the fighting rifle class at Tactical Response. So I thought I would give you an update, tell you how well it performed, any issues I had with it, just kind of a general review of the quality of these Midwest Industries rifles, and this one in particular. But first, a quick word from today's sponsors. And today's video is sponsored by Survival on Purpose. I just want to let you know that by popular demand, we've got some new t-shirts available, and actually we've got t-shirts and hoodies and hats and all kinds of stuff available because I partnered up with a Georgia company called Ballistic Ink, and where I don't have to try to take orders and get sizes and all that. You can just go to survivalonpurpose.com/swag, and you can buy t-shirts and hoodies and hats and all kinds of stuff, and it helps support the channel. And they also have a lot of other, not only other channels merchandise on there, but a lot of cool Second Amendment related merchandise. And if you buy any of that, there's a little drop down that says choose your freedom representative or something. I'm not sure what it says, but you can pick Survival on Purpose, and anything you buy will help support the channel, and you get some pretty cool stuff too. So I want to show you something I think is pretty cool about this. Is right here. It says made in the USA. So these are all cotton, really, really soft, nice, comfortable shirts, and I'm very proud to offer them to you. So anyway, survivalonpurpose.com/swag. Get some cool shirts. A lot of different colors, by the way, and they don't say I love me some Fatwood on back, because a lot of people didn't like that. So anyway, that's the sponsorship spot. But anyway, I digress. So let's talk about this rifle and what it did and didn't do, any pros and cons. So first of all, you notice there's no magazine in here because YouTube does not allow monetization of videos which show those nasty, horrible 30-round magazines. They consider those some sort of aberration of nature, apparently, and extremely dangerous for people to look at. So we're going to see if this one will get past the sponsors. I mean, I guess the censors, because supposedly, if I'm showing a firearm in a safe environment, which this is unloaded, look, just for safety, it's unloaded. See there? Well, let's open it now. You can see it's unloaded. Can you see that? Can you see it? It is unloaded. No magazines. Any range footage, which is not any of this video, will be on a safety range. So this should comply with all their stuff, but we'll see. Anyway, I'll put a link to the first video right up here. I'm not going to go over and do a full review of this thing. I will tell you that it is a very, very high quality rifle. This one's out of production, by the way. This was a limited edition 25th anniversary model, but they still making really great rifles. And I think the main differences maybe were, this has this certain stock that James Yeager spec'd out this rifle, basically. So it came with the sights on it already, the Midwest Industries battle sights, which I like. I put those on pretty much all my rifles. And it came with this cool Cerakote finish, and it came with a Midwest drop-in trigger, which is about a 3.5-pound trigger, very nice. But you can drop that into any rifle. They got a really cool trigger there too, by the way, if you're interested in a drop-in trigger. And it's just a box trigger. It doesn't have parts you got to put together. You put it in, you put the pins in, and you're good to go. So there's that. Let's talk about my additions real quick, and then we'll talk about how the rifle performed. First of all, I installed this Holosun 403C and the flip-out 3x3X magnifiers. You can flip it out of the way. And then I also installed this Surefire Scout Light a dual fuel light, so just to have good light. And then I finally installed these excess sights white stripe front post. Can you see that? It's just got a, I don't know if you can see it. I can show it to you this way though. See, it's got a white stripe on both sides of it, so makes it more visible. They sent me that after SHOT Show. I'm probably going to get with them and see about getting a tritium. They actually have a tritium stripe that would be even better for night. But there's that. So let's talk about the performance of this thing. First of all, I fired prior to the class. I fired the first video I did. I think I fired like 120 something rounds, 123 rounds, 28 rounds, or something like that, right? And then no issues whatsoever. And I did not have the optic on it then, so I was just hitting groups at 100 yards with these old eyes about this big with iron sights, which I think I'm happy with that. I was hitting a lot better groups, obviously, with the dot on it. So I shot another maybe a couple, 150 rounds. We'll call it another 150 rounds to just check the sighting in on the red dot and make sure I had it all sighted in. And then another, maybe another 100 rounds prior to class, just to double check the sight on it. So before class, we'll say I had 300 rounds conservatively, probably closer to 350 or 400, but we'll call it 3, just to be safe, right? So I never cleaned it. I have not cleaned this rifle since I bought it. I'm doing that on purpose. I know if you're a Marine, you probably clean your rifle every night, but this one's not been cleaned or even lubed yet. And so I wanted to see how well it would perform. So the first day of class, we probably shot 500 rounds. And they said, we recommend everybody go home and clean and lube your rifles, at least lube it. And I didn't. I didn't do anything to it, but put it back in the case and let it set. And the first day it was really, really hot and sweaty. We did a lot of mag replacements and mag drops. And so the mags were getting kind of dirty. It worked just perfectly with dirty mags. I just tried to brush the dust off of them. So I know I got some dirt and stuff in there. The second day, it was misting and raining the whole day. And so a little muddy, not super muddy. We weren't getting real muddy, but it did get a little muddy and a little wet. And again, it performed flawlessly. And it got pretty hot. We were doing a pretty good strings of fire. We weren't doing mag dumps, but we were definitely doing some pretty, we were shooting through a mag in a pretty quick time and doing mag changes. And this rifle just performed, I will say, flawlessly. I think once, if I remember, I had once kind of a stovepipe. I don't know if that was a ammunition-ish thing, maybe whatever, but one time I had a stovepipe. Other than, out of 1,000 rounds, other than that, flawless. So that's a what 1/10 of 1% error rate through 1,000 rounds, actually through about 1,300 rounds. So I got to say that's really, really good. Like I say, I ran the gun too. I wasn't babying it. We ran it. So what I thought I'd do real quick, just before we wrap this up, I'm just going to give you a look inside. We'll take a look at the bolt and see how dirty it actually is. And then we'll wrap this up. So let me just open this sucker up here. So there's the back of the buffer tube, kind of dirty. You can look inside there and see it's not horrible, but it's kind of dirty. See the carbon stuff there, right? See right there, all that. Now let's pull the bolt out and see what that looks like. All right, so here's the bolt, and pretty dirty. I mean, you can look at my hands just from touching it. You can see how dirty it is, right? Kind of grungy there. So definitely dry and dirty. Look at all the gunk right there. Stinking filthy in there, right? And then all the dirt and gunk in there. So it's dirty. So the point being that it is, in fact, pretty dirty. I'm not faking this, and yet it absolutely ran flawlessly. Now you may say, why do I need a rifle that runs when it's dirty? And I'm not saying that this thing will continue to run forever without cleaning, but I am saying that if you really need this, if you're in a situation, whether it's a bug out situation, you're trying to defend stuff or whatever, you might not have time to clean your rifle. And if it'll run when it's just dirty, it'll sure as heck run when it's clean and lubed. So anyway, that's just a quick, I thought I would just show you that kind of an after action report and a update on the performance of this rifle. And not only did it hit what I was shooting at, but it hit it continually and constantly without any flaws. Other than I said the one stovepipe, just that stuff happens sometimes. So my point of this is, if you're looking for a really high quality rifle that is I would call it mid-priced rifle. It's not a budget rifle, but it's not a super high-end rifle either. You cannot go wrong with a Midwest rifle. So we'll see if this makes it past the Google sensors, the YouTube sensors. But either way, just wanted to show you this. And I highly recommend this company. They make excellent gear. And not only do they make complete rifles, they make all kinds of great handguards and accessories. And their drop-in trigger rocks the house. So this one actually came from the factory with it. So it's not a modern modification on this rifle. So anyway, that's it. Oh, now I think I might clean this thing and put it back together. But I really appreciate you watching Survival on Purpose. Remember, survival's not an accident, so be prepared. I'll see you next time.